she grows, she gets really obsessed with self being me, just unlearning and relearning and growing and evolving and healing and all that good stuff, and getting closer to God and really understanding who I am on a more spiritual level and not just this flesh world. But today we have another letter. It says, "Come to me when you are weak and weary. Rest snugly in my everlasting arms. I do not despise your weakness, my child. Actually, it draws me closer to you because weakness stirs up my compassion, my yearning to help. Accept yourself in your weariness, knowing that I understand how difficult your journey has been. Do not compare yourself with others who seem to skip along their life paths with ease. Their journeys have been different from yours, and I have gifted them with abundant energy. I have gifted you with fragility, providing opportunities for your spirit to blossom in my presence. Accept this gift as a sacred treasure, delicate yet glowing with brilliant light. Rather than struggling to disguise or deny your weakness, allow me to bless you richly through it." Okay, then. I do not despise your weakness, my child. Actually, it draws me closer to you because weakness stirs up my compassion, my yearning to help. Let me find out. God is an empath. Accept yourself in your weariness, knowing that I understand how difficult your journey has been. And if he understands how difficult the journey has been, then baby, then he is doing it for a reason. Because it's one of those moments where you gotta, when you in a situation where you just, it's dark and things is heavy and weighing down, and you're like talking to God, like, do you not see what I'm going through? Like, do you not feel what I'm feeling? Like, when something hurts so bad, it feels like your heart literally is breaking and aching. And it's like, do you not feel this? Do you not understand this? And for him to say, like, he sees how tough the journey has been for you. So it's like, I know it's been rough, but I got you. It's for a reason. Because he's not going to just see you going through something and not get you out of it. If you're in it for a reason, sweetheart. I have gifted you with fragility, providing opportunities for your spirit to blossom in my presence. The fact fragility to be a gift was mind-blowing to me. Was mind-blowing to me. Accept this gift as a sacred treasure, delicate yet glowing with brilliant light. So I have a tattoo on my neck. On this side it says a beautiful masterpiece, and then on this side it says yet a work in progress. And delicate yet glowing with brilliant light kind of gave me that same vibe. And I have wrote in my prayer journal, like, I'm just letting you know, God, that I'm probably going to get that tatted. Delicate, what does it say? Delicate yet glowing with brilliant light. I'm definitely probably going to get that tatted. I'm not going to lie. Because one thing about me, I am so fragile. Like, I remember a person telling me I am like a ticking time bomb. And that's not but it's like, okay, do you not handle a ticking time bomb with care though, with delicate care? But I am very fragile. For me to be as resilient as I am and as tough as I am very, very fragile, and I know that. And I've always hated that about myself, like, so much. I've always hated that about myself. But now, like, reading this letter this morning and reading the fact that he's saying that that's my gift, is being fragile. But and I also wrote about this in my journal too. Where does it say? It says, first sentence says, "Come to me when you are weak and weary." And I talked about that, and it made me realize, like, saying my gift is fragility made me realize, like, that is probably why I attract weak and weary people. Like, people who are just exhausted and tired of life and just going through it. And it's like, and I have to be careful with that, because it's like, I'm such a people person, and I just want to be there for people when they're going through things. And keep in mind, I am a daughter of a suicide parent. So it's like, I really feel for people, and I really look at things different. Like, it could be something so small to the world, but to me it's like, I get it. Not that I personally have went through it, but I get it. Like, I understand how something that may seem small can be such a big deal, because I feel all my feelings so extreme. Like, something that's small to one person could be everything to me, and that could be good or bad. Because, you know, when somebody can do such a small gesture for me, and to me it's just like, oh my God, you really love me. And then somebody can do something so small, like negative wise, and it's just like, oh, okay, you really got me fucked up. Oh, sorry, you really got me freaked up. I'm really trying to stop cussing. I'm not gonna say I'm trying to stop cussing. I'm just trying to slow down with the cussing. But yeah, so like somebody can do something so small on the negative side, and it's like, oh, you got me freaked up, and I'm not effing with you no more. Like, I'm cool on you. So it's very bittersweet, but I definitely feel all my emotions extremely, and I know how that could be a gift and a curse. So when people go through things, regardless of what it is, like regardless of how unimportant it may seem to somebody else, to me it's like, I know how things can feel heavy, and you just never know, because this is the thing, you could be going through so much things, right? Like, you could be like, I handle this L well, 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 and then one thing can happen on a random day. One thing can happen. It can be something so simple, like you could be carrying a glass item and accidentally drop it and it breaks, and you could lose it. Like, I'm talking about break down and lose it. And it's not like, and outside looking in, people's like, oh my God, like, they're so dramatic. They really just, but in reality, that was just the last straw. You know what I mean? Like, I've been handling so much so well, and that is a gift and a curse in itself. Handling things well, being strong, being resilient is not easy. It's not simple. And I go through that. Like, I have my days where I just break down. I just lose it. Like, I'm exhausted. I started my therapy session, first therapy session. It was so amazing. It felt so good. But she told me the reason why you have these mood swings, and the reason why you go from one extreme to another sometimes, is because your circuits are so overloaded that, how does she word it? So that's the thing. I'm actually, I brought up in therapy, and it's bringing me to therapy, is I have a horrible memory. Like, I cannot remember things. Like, my therapy session was Thursday, today is Saturday, and even like Thursday, my session was Thursday, and even Friday morning, I was talking about my session to someone, and I could not remember things that she had said. It's just like, that's crazy to me. But she has said that basically my circuits are so overloaded, just like a house, right? Like, if I was a house, I would have burnt out my, what is it called? What's the word I'm looking for? You know, when you overload your circuit, when you overload your breaker box, and the power in the whole house shuts down. That is basically what she was saying is happening to myself. Like, I have overloaded my breaker box, and the house has shut down. So I've suppressed so much stuff. I've been through so much stuff from childhood to a teenage to adulthood, that my mind and my body and my brain has went into automatic mode of, when information comes in and things happen, I automatically suppress it. And I automatically move it to the back of my brain, and I forget about it. It doesn't matter how insignificant it is or how big of a deal it is. I forget about it, because my brain and my body is an autopilot of suppressing things and forgetting about it and pushing things to the side. And I apologize about this. It's gnats, and I don't know. Somebody said it's from my plants, and they told me to put rocks at the top of my plants. So I think I'm gonna try that. But I'm trying so many different things, and it doesn't seem like anything is working. But anyways, so being fragile, being damaged, being all these things can be a gift. I actually had the definition of it. Let me share that. Okay, so fragility means the quality of being easily damaged or broken. And what? Oh, that's definitely me. And so for God to tell me that is my gift, mind blowing. Mind blowing. Now, keep in mind, I aspire to one day be a motivational speaker or something where I talk to young women, but especially like young teenage girls, about just how to how to navigate through this world, because this world, baby, ain't easy. All right, and it wasn't easy before social media, and I feel like with social media is such a double-edged sword. It can be so good for you, and it can be so bad for you. So I really aspire to be in a position, I'm not for sure exactly how or what, but I aspire to one day be in a position where I can talk to and just help young women and teenage girls navigate through life and, dark times, and understanding that we are all going through it. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how on the other end of fine you think you are. I don't care how you feel about yourself, good, bad, as far as looks goes, as far as your body type goes, as far as your fashion sense goes, as far as your money goes, as far as your house, whatever the case may be. Like the flesh world, that stuff exists to a certain point. Like when you have we have to learn that we are not our flesh. Like this flesh world is temporarily. So we have to focus on our soul and our spirits. Like once we get that under control, once we get that to peace and to completeness, and that's when everything will make more sense. And that's when everything will start flowing and be easier. And with life, let me tell you the things that's helped me with dealing with depression and anxiety and sadness and like the whole circle of my negative feels, right? I know this is gonna sound weird, but first thing, and not in no particular order, just like the first thing that's coming to my head. First thing, I just went and bought new light bulbs for my entire house. Now, I did not notice. I had to go get a new light bulb for whatever reason. I went and got one. It was 1,000 watts, like 1,500 lumens, right? Daylight light bulb. Put it in, brightened up my living room like crazy, like white light instead of soft light. So I never noticed how yellow my lights have been in my house. So when I seen that the light was extremely white, I was like, wow. But it just, the vibe in my living room just was so much better. It just felt better. So like, you know what? And I went and got all the light bulbs out of the house, every single room, including the light above the stove. And I went to Walmart and I got the highest watt I could find in daylight light bulbs throughout my house. And when I say every room is lit up as if the light was like a ring light bulb, and it feels good. It feels better. And that makes sense because when you go outside and you're in the sunlight and you're outside and it's daytime and it feels good outside, you feel better. So as minor as it probably sounds, just try it out. Another thing is, no matter what the situation is, right? If you're a believer of God, tell yourself, God is saying, I'm giving this to you and I'm gifting this to you. So like when I read that fragility was a gift and I looked it up and seen what it meant, I sat with that for a minute and I had to break it down. Like, if this is a gift, what does that mean for me? Like, what does that mean for me as far as how is that serving me and how is that part of my purpose? And after I wrote about it, I felt so much better. So whatever your circumstance is, tell yourself God has gifted you that circumstance. So if it's from God, then why would God allow you to go through it, or why would God allow you to have it or experience it, or whatever the case may be? And write that question down and really think about it and come up with answers and keep unpacking those answers and keep answering that question over and over and over and over until you feel like you have figured it out. And another thing, keep in mind, when other people play a part of your circumstances you feel like it's so bad. I just had a conversation with someone today, and she was telling me about how she was saying like how her baby daddy switched their kids' schedule, and and she was just frustrated with it, is the point. She was frustrated with the fact that her kid's dad switched the kids' schedule, right? The routine up or whatever. And I told her, you know, your child's father ain't got that much power, okay? God is running things. God is in control of your life. God is leading your life. So God switched your schedule. God is the one who said, this is how the children need the schedule to be. This is what's best for the kids, and this is what you guys need to do moving forward. It just came out of his mouth. And sometimes I feel like we look over what God is saying to us or trying to reveal to us because it comes through a person we dislike. It comes from a person we just have a lot of animosity towards. But if we always keep that in the back of our head, like everything that happened, when you woke up this morning, God had a plan for your life. And so when things happen or people do something to make you feel whatever you feel, tell yourself, this is from God. This is of God. So what does that mean then? With that being said, what does that mean? Why would God allow this to happen to me? Or why would God allow me to go through this? And actually, don't make it a rhetorical question. Actually sit and answer that. Even though I struggle with this sometimes, because in the moment when things happen, I'm like, just react. Like I just react to what's going on. But then I have to sit with it, and then I have to calm myself down and unpack what the freak is going on. And I have to remind myself, you know, everything in your life is of God. God is running stuff. Like, it ain't my baby daddy that's running stuff. It ain't nobody in my family that's running stuff. It's not a person in this world who don't like me. None of them have enough power to run my life. You know what I mean? They're just pawns. That's it. That's all. So if God is in control and God is the lead of my life, this is of God and this is because of God. So what does that mean for me? And even with even when you, I seen a TikTok that I really liked. She was talking about when you wake up, God has a plan for your life. He already knows what he wants to do with your day, but so does the devil. And I really like that because I think we forget that just like God knows our heart, God knows what we yearn for the most, God knows what we need, God knows what we want, God knows us through and through, right? So does the devil. So the devil also knows what we yearn for in our hearts and all those things. So just like God may know the very thing you need for your day to go very well, the devil knows exactly what you need for your day to go very horrible. But when you keep God first and when you keep the mindset of everything is of God, he's going to take whatever, even if the devil throws your day where somebody comes and you just react to that instead of like me, my baby daddy. He can throw my mood for the moment and I just react, but then I have to catch myself and remember, you know, like it's the devil over here and it's God over here, like which way am I going to go type of deal. But even with that situation, like God is going to take that situation and he's going to use that for my greater good. So it's like the fact that this happened, I just reacted to it. However, I caught myself. I, you know, gathered myself together. I did what I need to do to regulate my emotions, and now I'm good now. That is a blessing, especially for me. Like, that is such a blessing because usually someone can throw my mood so easily. Again, I'm very fragile. I'm very extreme with my feelings. So it didn't used to be, I mean, it used to be very easily to throw my mood with something. And it usually would throw my whole day. Like, it would literally throw the rest of my day. And then I would just always like, I'm going to start brand new. And now I can remember God is in control, not anybody else. Like, other people are going to try, you know, the devil's going to try. But at the end of the day, the power goes to what you give the power to. So if you give the power to other people, if you give the power to the devil, then yes, they have power over your life. But if you make sure you keep it very, but if you make sure you give that power to God, God is going to have power over your life. So when something happens, instead of giving that person or giving the devil that power, you take it to God, and God takes the situation and he reverses it. Like fuck freaking Uno, okay? Reverse, skip you, back to me, Uno out. But no, seriously though, like whatever you give, like because you hold the power at the end of the day, you know, like even though God is in control of everything, God is a loving Father as well, and He gave us, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it willpower? He gave us free will. So He gave us free will to choose and decide. But He's going to always be there, and He's going to always be waiting on us to choose and decide Him, right? So He's in control and He oversees everything, but we hold the power. So either we're going to give the power to God to let Him do what He's going to do in our life, and we're going to follow His lead, or we're going to give the power to other people, or we're going to give the power, that power to the devil, or we're going to give that power to whoever, social media, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you hold the power and you give it to who you choose. You having a bad day, the world is overwhelming. You're comparing yourself to people on social media. You're in your feelings about things that you see on social media. Turn it off. Like, I don't think things only exist when you're giving it attention. I read a book that talks about we are not our bodies, we are not our minds, we are not our brains, we are not our thoughts. We are awareness. So when you give awareness to a situation, when you give awareness to things that's going on, that exists. You know what I'm saying? Like, because things only exist. We can only live in this current moment from second to second to second to second. Like, we can only live in the present moment. So right now, everything that has happened to me in my past doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because I'm not giving any awareness to it. Whatever's going on currently, there's so much chaos going on in the world right now in this moment, but it doesn't exist to me and in my world, because in this moment I'm not giving any awareness to it. So keeping ourselves in the present moment, which is freaking hard, okay? I don't want to make it sound like it's just so easy and simple, like all you got to do is stay in the present moment and keep your awareness on the present moment, because it's hard, okay? I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's possible. And when you keep that focus, nothing else exists. Nothing exists. Like, everybody could hate you or everybody can love you, and that it doesn't exist unless you put your attention on it. If you don't put your attention there, it does not exist. No matter what, good or bad, it doesn't exist. So I don't know what I still have to say, but yeah, whatever you give your power to is what has power over your life. So even if you keep the power for yourself, you know what I mean? Even when if you keep the power for yourself until you are ready to give it to God or to whatever the case may be, but you hold that power. And just remember that when you are giving social media attention and when you are letting social media dictate your emotions, you are giving social media power. When you give it to your raggedy baby daddy, you are giving him power. When you give it to your bitter baby mama, you are giving her power. Like, you're giving these people power over your life and over your emotions. And so you got to keep that to yourself, and you got to give it to God. For me, I'm always give it to God. Like, I'm lying. I'm stop saying always, because you just gave it to your baby daddy the other day. For a second, I'm getting better with this. But for me, for me, the goal is to always give it to God. You know, and I have my moments where I have to check myself. Like it's like a stick for me. So I always think, like, when I think of power, I think of a baton. But like, that nigga got your power. Like, you need to take it from him, and it is a mind thing. So it's easily just take it back, give it to God. And sometimes the act of like taking your power back and giving it to God, for me, is writing in my prayer journal, is meditating. And every time I meditate, and I don't know, I always tell people, like, I dislike telling other people how to meditate, because I feel like you do what works for you and you find what works for you. For me, meditating is honestly depends on what I'm meditating for. But when I'm taking my power back from something or someone, it's meditating, and it's just becoming very still and being aware of my present moment and being with God. Like, worshiping God, thanking God for my circumstances, like, regardless of how bad my situation is, even if it's like in a moment where I'm broken and I am just depressed, okay, even if I'm broken and I'm just legit feeling all the feels of fragility for real, even that, I thank God for it, and I know he's seeing me through it. And once I can thank God for it, I can go through that thankfulness, right? I can go through the gratefulness of the moment. So I'm grateful for this situation because XYZ. And then I can break down, if I'm going through this, I know it's for a reason. I know it's you're doing this because I'm giving you the power and you hold the power of my life. So it has to be I'm going through this because of this, because of that, because of that. This is off. But another thing I forgot to say earlier. Another thing that helps with like feeling the feels or taking your power back. Talk to yourself, okay? Like talk to yourself the way you talk to other people. Because I don't care who it is. Like, everybody has it in them to uplift someone else. Everybody has someone who has came to them and vented to them, and you made them feel better. And it just came easily to be there for them. It came easily to uplift them. It came easily to pour into them. Like, it came so easily, right? And the reason why it came easily is because everything that you said to them, everything that you felt in that moment is genuine. Like, you know it's true, you know it's facts, right? Give yourself that same exact thing. So I have a journal that I write letters to myself, and in moments where I know I need it, like I need a best friend, I need a partner, I need that somebody. But it may be either I genuinely don't have it in the real world, or it may be something that I'm not comfortable bringing to somebody else, and I just may need myself, honestly. So I would go to my journal that's just for myself, and I would write letters to myself, and I would validate my feelings first. Like, I know you're feeling like this, I know it feels like this, and I write down everything I know I'm feeling and I'm going through, as if I'm talking to another person. And then I say all the things I would say to somebody is I say it to myself, and I literally pour into myself and I uplift myself. And that right there, baby, you want to build some confidence, you want to build some self-confidence in yourself, start writing letters to yourself every day. Even when you need to vent to yourself in that same journal. Get a journal that's solely for you talking to yourself. And when you want to vent to yourself, okay, and vent to God. When you need a friend, when you need a person, when you feel like I need somebody that I can call, but either I don't want to talk to someone else because I want to practice being there for myself, or I feel like this is a situation I just don't want to share with anyone else. Write in that journal. Get in the habit of talking to yourself, okay? Now, I don't know if you've seen the TikTok or not, but I made a TikTok about, I talk to myself out loud. I do not care. I am not ashamed. I've been doing this. I've been talking to myself in journals and on paper for literally my whole life since I was a child. And it just be too much stuff going on up in here. And sometimes just like, I don't feel like writing all this down. I'm not a texter, and I am a writer. I was going to say I wasn't a writer, but I am a writer. I'm not a texter though. Like, if I got a lot to say, I just need to say it. So sometimes, like, I got so much stuff to say that I really just need to unpack it. I need to go through my feels about it, and I'm not trying to do all that writing. So I just need to get it out. Like, I just need to talk it out, and I have a conversation with myself. Like, I express to myself how I'm feeling. I express to myself, like, if I'm angry, I talk about why I'm angry. I express what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and then I just be there for myself. Like, it's something like I check myself about what's going on, and sometimes I'm there for myself and I uplift myself. But either way, your girl gonna talk to herself, okay? But that definitely builds your confidence. Like, I feel like that has built my confidence so much. Like, regardless if it's talking to myself in my journals, regardless if it's talking to myself on camera, because I haven't done it in a very long time now that I think about it, but I used to do video journals where I would set up my camera and I would record myself talking to myself. And you don't even really have to hit record. You really could just set the camera up and talk to yourself, or get in a mirror and talk to yourself. But it's something about us recording ourselves talking on camera that makes us feel like we're not talking to our actual self. But even like this video currently right now, technically I'm talking to myself, because everything that I'm telling anybody else is everything that I know I need to hear, or something I've already talked to myself about, and I'm like, that was a really good conversation, I should probably share that, and here I am sharing it. Regardless if it was a conversation with me and God, or if it was a conversation with me and myself, it was a conversation that was had. with me alone, and I felt it was something to share. Or sometimes I'm just going through some feels and going through some emotions, and I'm gonna work through it on camera anyway, so I might as well turn it into a video and maybe it helps somebody else. But anyways, I don't need that be the thing. I be trying to keep track of what I be talking about, and it just doesn't work like that. So if you don't like people who just be rambling and jumping all over the place from one thing to another, then this YouTube channel is probably not for you, and that's okay. And that is okay. But that's what I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope something resonated. I hope you took something from this video. But like, comment, and subscribe, because your girl's trying to do this for real, for real. Like, I'm trying to be serious about this, and I feel good about it. I'm not gonna lie, I be posting my videos and I be feeling good, and then I'd get no views, and I'd be like, okay, well, maybe it just ain't it just ain't for me. But I know I just got to be consistent with it. But I do feel good about this. Now, I don't know what it's going to be, but I know I am going to be in a position one day where I do talk to young women and teenage girls about navigating through life. And it's probably going to start with this YouTube channel. So I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to do this. And that's that. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. She grows. She gets really obsessed with self being me, and the journey that I'm on, just learning how to navigate life and growing closer to God, and growing in my love of God and myself. And yeah, peace out.